In the realm of Aethoria, where mountains float among clouds and magic flows like rivers, an ancient prophecy spoke of the crystal of eternity, a relic that could reshape reality itself. Lyra, the last of the crystal keepers, had guarded this power for centuries. But on this fateful night, she sensed the darkness approaching. The Shadow Legion had found them at last. Lord Nethys, commander of the Shadow Legion, had searched 1,000 years for this moment. His warriors, beings of pure darkness bound in enchanted armor, poured into the sacred chamber like a tide of nightmares. With ancient words of power, Lyra summoned barriers of pure light. The chamber erupted in a storm of magic as shadow met radiance, each spell shaking the very foundations of the floating mountain. As darkness threatened to consume all, the crystal of eternity awakened. Its call echoed across Aethoria, reaching the one soul pure enough to wield its power, a young farm boy named Kael. Kael had always felt different, but as the crystal's power touched him, his true destiny awakened. Light danced at his fingertips, and he knew he must answer the call. Guided by an invisible thread of destiny, Kael ran faster than ever before. The creatures of Aethoria, sky whales, crystal foxes, and starbirds, sensed the awakening of a new champion. Lyra knew her time was ending, but she would not yield. Pouring her very essence into one final spell, she created a barrier that even Lord Nethys could not immediately break. In that moment when hope seemed lost, Kael arrived. Keeper and Chosen One locked eyes, and in that instant, 1,000 years of knowledge passed between them. With her last breath, Lyra passed the mantle of Crystal Keeper to Kael. Her form dissolved into starlight, but her strength lived on in the boy who would become legend. Where once stood a farm boy, now stood a guardian of light. The crystal of eternity recognized its new master, and Kael embraced his destiny with courage beyond his years. Light and shadow clashed in a battle that would echo through eternity. Each strike of their weapons sent shockwaves across the realm, as the very forces of creation and destruction collided. The Shadow Legion had never known defeat, but the power of sacrifice and pure heart proved stronger than 1,000 years of darkness. Lord Nethys swore vengeance as he retreated to the void. With wisdom beyond his years, Kael created a new sanctuary, not hidden in isolation, but at the crossroads of all realms. The crystal would no longer be hoarded, but would share its light with all who needed hope. Years passed, and Kael became not just a guardian, but a teacher. He knew that true strength came not from the crystal, but from the bonds between all living things. Though Lord Nethys waited in the darkness between worlds, Kael stood ready. But now he was not alone. A new generation of guardians stood with him, united in purpose. When new shadows gathered on the horizon, Kael felt no fear. For he had learned Lyra's greatest lesson, that light is not the absence of darkness, but the courage to shine despite it. And so the cycle continued. In a village at the edge of the realm, a young girl named Aria discovered light dancing at her fingertips. The crystal had chosen again. Lyra's sacrifice had planted seeds of hope across Aethoria. Now, wherever darkness threatened, guardians would rise. Not one mighty hero, but many hearts united in light. The crystal of eternity had revealed its ultimate truth. True power lies not in one supreme guardian, but in the light that lives in every heart. And as long as hope endures, the darkness can never truly win.